The Volkswagen ID.4 is Volkswagen's first mainstream compact SUV that's fully electric and is launching later this year.
So some quick facts about the car. It's going to start under $40,000 and there's going to be a rear-wheel drive version available with 201 horsepower and a all-wheel drive version with 302 horsepower available. It has an EPA estimated range of 250 miles. And to attract more buyers, it's going to come with 3 years of free DC fast charging through Electrify America. So Jerry, what do you think about the car?
I think the build quality is very, very impressive for a car that's around 30 grand. I love the interior. It's very minimalistic. The lighting, the ambient lighting, everything. It creates a really, really comforting atmosphere. And the roof, it's ginormous. The only thing that I didn't like about it was the buttons. The buttons were really flat. I guess they were trying to go for a minimalistic look. Practicality-wise, I think it takes a hit. What do you think?
I know that this interface is very new. A lot of it is haptic feedback. They've gotten rid of a lot of buttons. So a lot of things that normally had, hard buttons or like knobs, like the volume, for instance, on the center infotainment screen, it's been replaced with these basically sliders, right? It's like your phone. It's kind of just like a touch slider. It was implemented really, and as far as the infotainment goes, I was also very impressed by the infotainment. In pictures, it looks a little cheap, kind of, because the icons are very big. So it might not look very premium when you're looking at it, but in person, it actually works really well. The buttons, because all the icons, because they're large, they're very easy to use, and it was very easy to navigate through the menus, even though I'd never, really used a car before. For me, number one was the build quality. Like when I opened and closed the door, it was like, like the German feel that you expect. Also, the space of the vehicle, like the interior space, is really large relative to the exterior space. It's about the size of a Tiguan, which is compact / mid-size SUV. But it feels much roomier inside than a Tiguan. Like the rear seat legroom was really good, and also the cargo capacity seemed really large too.
There's massage seats?
Yeah, so the seats have a massaging function using the lumbar support, and I was really impressed that this is just like a normal car, and it's for everybody.
Yeah, and I think it's important because as cars become more technologically advanced, like this car, the ID.4 has lane keeping assistance. So as you're going on longer drives, the comfort is even more important. They did a fantastic job with the headlights of this car. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, I really like the design, how there's a light bar going across the front and the back.
It's futuristic, but it's not super flashy.
Right. Yeah, I think that's what my impression of the design language is. It feels, it's not like wacky futuristic, it's just a little bit beyond what we have now.
It's futuristic mainstream.
Yeah. And now to talk about Tesla Model Y, it's the gold standard for the compact crossover EV right now. Obviously it's going to perform a lot better than the ID.4. It's got more range. It's rated, I think, with the updates, it's going to go to almost 350 miles EPA range for the all-wheel drive version. 0 to 60 is in 4 seconds and change, so a lot quicker than the ID.4, which the 0 to 60 is going to be like in the low 8 seconds range. So it's significantly slower, but I think for most people, it's not going to matter that much. People don't,
they're not buying for the speed.
Exactly.
They're buying for the practicality and comfort.
Right, and then that brings me on to the price difference, which is really huge. The all-wheel drive Model Y starts at basically $50,000, and even though the ID.4 starts at $40,000, Volkswagen still has all of the federal tax credits available to them, plus all the state rebates. So you can essentially lop off at least 10 grand here in California.
the number of superchargers are prevalent in the US. So it's very, very convenient to go out and find a supercharger to charge your car. Well, at the moment, Volkswagen is building a lot of Electrify America chargers, which are comparable to superchargers, but it's still not there yet. But in a year or two, it probably will be very convenient as well. I honestly don't think the Tesla Model Y is the ID.4's main competitor. I think the main competitor are the Toyota RAV4 and the Honda CR-V. It's priced around the same range as an ID.4 after all the rebates and the fuel savings. So I think that's the comparable target. And if you look at acceleration and performance figures, then it makes a lot more sense. So Jeff, what do you think about how the ID.4 will compare to the RAV4?
Okay, I think for me, I think it depends on the customer if they have charging available. The reason why a lot of people buy, RAV4 hybrids is because, they don't have to change their habits. They just fill in, they still go to the gas station, it's just a lot less because it's pretty efficient. The Prime is, to me, the Prime is a really compelling option because it does have, you get 53 miles of range when it's fully charged. Like, downside to the Prime is like you literally cannot buy one. They're only gonna make about 5,000 units for the US market this year.
Let's go back to our final question. Is the Volkswagen ID.4 better than the Tesla Model Y?
So for me, in terms of the things that I like a car for, yes. Because Teslas are just, the build quality is not what you would expect for how much you pay for the car. But also I think for me, my major issue with Teslas is the NVH. They're very loud inside because they're not soundproof very well. There's a lot of glass and there's a lot of wind noise. Mm-hmm. And there's also a lot of road noise that carries through into the car.
Right.
And I know the ID.4 is going to be a lot quieter. With Volkswagen, at least I know, they've been around for a long time and
they know how to build cars.
They know how to build cars. So, every car, the one we looked at, paint was nice. The panel gaps are really tight. Everything closed. Everything had a solid feel to it. Even though the interior is a lot of it is hard plastic, but it feels solid. It doesn't feel flimsy.
I honestly think this is the most important car of this year.
It's a great product at a great price point, and I think people will see the value in the product. There's this is the first model that we're getting out of a line of models. There's going to be a bigger SUV, there's going to be the bus and the Vision. So this is just the first part of their plan.
Master plan. Right?
Yes, it's their master plan. I'm really excited for this because it means more people will drive electric. It's really truly the mainstreaming of the electric vehicle, which I don't think Tesla has started it, but I don't think they're quite there yet.
It's very hard to scale manufacturing, and Volkswagen and Ford and all these other companies already have manufacturing in place. So I think that it's easier for them to convert the factories into electric car factories and really scale it up. So it's easier for them to dominate the market rather than a new company like Tesla. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us again. And we're going to start producing new videos. Have a lot of exciting things coming up. So stay tuned. This is Jerry.
Jeff.
And signing out. Thank you. Peace.